What's going on, my guys? We're back at it again. Lost and Found Dating channel. Here we are, back face to face. I feel like we're family at this point. You guys been watching my videos, supporting. I feel like we're just brothers at this point, man. So thank you for tuning in, for checking out the channel. Without further ado, we're gonna dive straight into this week's topic. We got a good one, we got a tasty one for all the guys out there. I'm thinking this is definitely gonna help you navigate your dating life a little bit. So let's dive in. Well. So you just got flaked on, huh? Ooh, it hurts. It hurts. Pull up a chair. Let's talk about it. So you just got flaked on, and you're asking what should I do? Well, for starters, I want you to grab a seat next to all of us guys out there. The hundreds and thousands and millions and billions of guys out there who've been flaked on before. Welcome to the crew. You have now experienced your rite of passage into the Lost and Found Dating channel community. Because if you haven't been flaked on at least once, I feel like you're not even part of the family yet. I feel like that is the what's it called? Initiation. That is the initiation to be able to be a part of this family. You gotta get at least a flake on your resume. Everyone needs one. So pull up a chair, gather around, and let's talk about it. Now, my guess is you're probably experiencing a variety of a variety of emotions at this point. Variety of motions. You're probably experiencing a variety of emotions at this point. You're frustrated, disappointed, confused. Yet, despite all of those things, there's a possibility that maybe you still even want to see this woman. You still want to go on a date with her and pursue things and see where things may lead, and that's okay. We've all been there before with that mixed basket, mixed bowl of emotions when it comes to being flaked on. So now you're wondering, how do I move forward? Well, my friend, you have come to the right channel. Because in this video, that's what we're gonna talk about. Now, my goal with this video, I wanna be very clear, is not to give you the answer of you should do this or you should do this. My goal with this video is to give you more of a framework, a tree of different branches, different routes that you may or may not take based on your individual experience and how it corresponds with some of the different strategies and modes of thought that I'm gonna give you. So I'm gonna give my personal strategy and the kind of mindset and framework that I have when it comes to responding to a woman flaking on me we're gonna talk about the first date, right? We're gonna talk about flaking on you as far as the first date. And with a lot of maybe you guys have noticed by this point, with a lot of the videos and content and we'll say strategies that I put forth, I want to emphasize that there's no one size fits all to how you handle different situations or how you approach things. I'm gonna give my personal strategy and what has worked for me. But again, that's not to say that this is the only way of doing things. And I like to say that as a disclaimer because other guys may have different approaches or different ways of how they respond to a situation as far as being flaked on when it comes to that first date. So when a woman cancels on the first date, right, she flakes, she cancels, she shoots me a text and tells me that she's not going to be able to make it. For me in particular, there's 4 things that I look at as far as determining how to respond. So in this video, I'm gonna break down each of those 4 components and how that sort of leads me to the way in which I respond. Number 1 is the timing factor, right? When did she communicate that she would no longer be able to attend this date? That's very important. That makes a difference, right? Did she tell me the night before when I confirmed and said, hey, I'll see you tomorrow at 7, right? Did she tell me then? Did she tell me the morning of the date, right? That may be a possibility too. Did she tell me a couple of hours before the date? Did she tell me as I'm getting ready to leave the house and to go head there, right? So that's important. That's a super important factor. When did she communicate that she would no longer be able to go on this date? That's number 1. Number 2, how apologetic did she come across as far as canceling plans and not being able to meet up that night? Did she respond in this way? Hey, I'm so sorry I can't make it tonight. I was really looking forward to getting together, but this came up. You know, situation A happened or circumstance A happened and I'm not gonna be able to make it. I'm so sorry, I was really looking forward to getting together tonight. Did she communicate that way or did she send me a text, can't make it tonight? Nothing else, no explanation, no reason, nothing. That, again, very important. How I respond to what she texts me, it depends on just what vibe am I getting from her? How apologetic does she seem? Does she seem like she genuinely wanted to see each other? Or is she just seems like she's canceling last minute, no explanation, no reasoning, no nothing? That's super important as well. Number 3, in addition to canceling plans, does she take initiative as far as rescheduling the date? That's an important one too. She could just text and say, hey, I'm so sorry I can't be able to make it tonight. What's your schedule looking like next week, right? She may, as soon as she cancels, throw it out there that she's trying to set up another time to see you. Or she may take no initiative to reschedule at all. That's super important. And last but not least, number 4, what was the vibe that I was getting from her leading up to the date, right? The several days or stream of texts that we sent as far as talking and building rapport and getting to know her. What was the overall vibe that I got from her? Was this a woman who seems like she's very interested? You know, her texts are maybe a little bit more engaging, her texts are a little bit longer, or leading up to the date was she sending me, you know, 1 to 2 word texts, not really contributing much to the conversation? Again, very important, guys. That's super important as far as, I think that's super important as far as how you should respond moving forward, right? So those are the 4 things that we want to look at. Her timing, when did she cancel? How apologetic did she seem? Is she indicating that she's taking some initiative as far as rescheduling the date? And what was the overall vibe that I was getting from her as far as her interest level leading up to us making plans? So number 1, leading up to the date, she didn't really seem that enthusiastic, that engaged as far as the conversation. She's sending very brief 1 or 2 word responses. In addition to that, let's say this same woman texts me the day of, maybe a few hours before the date, and she says, sorry, can't make it tonight, and doesn't give any sort of explanation or any reason for why she's canceling plans. For me, guys, in that scenario, not gonna sugarcoat it. I'm gonna be flat out honest with you guys. If that's me and I'm in that situation, I would simply send her a text back, cool, no problem. And then at that point, I've checked out of the situation. I'm not gonna be the one to initiate trying to make plans again and trying to reschedule things. If she reaches out to me and she initiates that, that's cool. But if she's let me know, the day of, she didn't really seem that interested leading up to the date, and she just cancels without really any explanation or any reasoning behind it, I'm checking out of the situation. Notice how I said I responded, cool, no problem. I'm not going out of my way to call her out about it or to reprimand her or to tell her that she's disrespecting my time. I don't do all that. I just simply text, cool, no problem. Send her a text, cool, no big deal. And then, I wash my hands of the situation and I check out at that point. So again, guys, if it's that kind of scenario, she cancels the day of, she didn't really seem that interested to begin with, and she doesn't really feel the need to offer some sort of explanation or reasoning behind why she's canceling plans, I just kind of check out of the situation. And some of you out there may be asking, well, what if she doesn't text you, or what if she doesn't take the initiative to try and reschedule plans with you? The show goes on. The show goes on, fellas. So that's scenario number one. Scenario number two, let's say leading up to the day we're supposed to go out together, she's shown that she's engaged in the conversation. There is a level of enthusiasm and energy and passion when we're communicating. So let's say that criterion is met, and let's say she cancels on the date, but she canceled, let's say I texted her the evening before, and she responds back and says, hey, I'm so sorry to reschedule things, but my boss actually, planned a meeting. We have a couple of clients coming into town, and we're setting a meeting with them, so I'm not gonna be able to get together tonight. Is there any way we can do something in the next couple of days or the following weekend? Right, in that situation, I am more than happy to say, hey, no big deal. We can touch base in the next couple of days after your meeting and look to set up a date, look to reschedule that date. I'm more than willing to be flexible in that instance and not just check out a situation when she's showing signs. Again, she's showing signs that she's interested. She's showing that she was looking forward to seeing each other, and there's a little level of disappointment there that she couldn't. And she's offering, some sort of explanation as far as why she couldn't make the date. And while we're on that topic, because my antenna is going off, and I think some people are gonna hear when I say offer an explanation, and it's gonna come across as me feeling entitled, or they're looking at it like, you're not her man, you guys don't know each other, or you're not anyone. She doesn't owe you an explanation. She doesn't owe you a reasoning. And you're right, no, nothing is owed to me. I don't feel like I'm entitled to some reasoning, but I think it's common courtesy in any sort of scenario, whether it's a friend, a family member, or someone that you've scheduled a date with. I think it is common courtesy if you can't make it to explain to them why, and that's man or woman. I feel like it's common courtesy to let someone know when you're canceling plans, to give them a reasoning as far as why you can't do it. Some of you will disagree, and some of you will say, well, you're not her man. She doesn't need to give you a reasoning why. If she's busy, she's busy, and you should just understand that. If that's your mindset, cool. I'm not gonna debate and go back and forth with you, but I think it's common courtesy. And for me personally, if I was to cancel plans with someone, I would always want to give them a reasoning why, always want to give them some sort of explanation. We won't even get it. I'm just gonna say I rarely, if ever, have needed to cancel a date when it comes to especially a first date. Rarely, if ever, needed to do that, and if I have, I've definitely given an explanation. So that's my stance as far as that. I'm gonna leave it there, and that's where it'll be. And to give you guys an example of a situation that happened to me with the sort of giving an explanation thing and how I feel like that's common courtesy when you're canceling plans with someone. This had happened to me with a woman who I had gone on several dates with for a pretty extended period of time. And we had a date planned for that evening. And I think I texted her to confirm the date either the morning of or the evening before. I can't remember which one, but anyway, I texted to confirm the date. And what had happened? She responded a couple of hours before, and she was just like, "Hey, sorry, I'm not gonna be able to make it tonight." And so, and again, mind you, we'd gone on several dates. This hadn't really happened before, and I was like, this is a little strange. She didn't really give any sort of explanation or reasoning for why she was canceling. Just said that, sorry, I can't make it tonight. So I was like, you know what? Normally I would just kind of check out of the situation, but I said, you know what? I'm gonna give a little bit of slack here. I'm gonna respond back and say, cool, no problem. So I texted her back, I said, cool, no problem. Did something come up? Question mark. You know, kind of nudging a little bit, like it's a little strange, out of character for you to just cancel plans and not really explain why or what happened. So I said, cool, no problem. Did something come up? Question mark. And then she responded, yeah. Why am I drawing? She responded, yeah, period, sorry. And I was like, oh, okay. So now I'm definitely checking out of this situation because that's just not gonna work for me. That's a no-fly zone. It's not gonna work for me. It seemed very out of character, and I wasn't really in a mood to kind of prod and investigate and figure out what was going on. It's like, I'm out. So just goes to show, guys, if someone's, you can use different cues to assess, is someone canceling the date because they just want to reject me, or they're no longer interested in hanging out, and that's kind of their standpoint, or whether they genuinely, something came up and they actually want to see you again, and they feel disappointed about it, and they're actually going out of their way to make some more plans later down the road with you. So in wrapping things up, guys, that's the framework that I use when I'm getting a sense of how do I want to respond to this situation? How do I want to handle this? The idea, as you saw, is it's not just black and white for me. I look at a couple of different factors and then figure out, is this something that is really worth continuing to pursue, or should I just leave things as they are and just kind of move on from this person? So I wanted to give you guys an example of my sort of mental patterns and the different cues and things that I look for when I determine, do I want to try to make plans, put in the effort to make plans or not? And maybe you guys use some of those cues, maybe you incorporate them into a list that you already have, whatever you guys want to do. But I think it is important to have some sort of strategy, some sort of assessment, some sort of framework that you approach the situation and say, okay, in the past, how have I usually gauged when a woman has interest in me and she's looking to actually make plans, or when maybe she wasn't really that interested and she just made plans with the intention of just canceling the day of. You know, I think it's important that you guys have a philosophy, some sort of framework that's somewhat flexible that allows you to figure out how to handle those kinds of situations. So, hope this video helped you guys as far as handling flakes moving forward. Hope this gives you that head and shoulders recipe to get those flakes out your system. 2019, we're removing all the flakes. No flake zone. We're getting rid of them all. No flake zone. No flake zone. Hey, they know better. Hey, they know better. Boom. So, wrapping things up, Lost and Found Dating channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. Be sure to subscribe, click that bell. That way you'll be the first to know when we come out with new videos each and every single week. We're coming at you with videos. We're coming at you with that heat, that fire. We're coming at you with them bangers. And we're hoping you guys have been enjoying the content thus far. Catch you next time. Peace.